An 11-year-old girl is dead. Her 5-year-old sister recovering tonight after they were shot in a drive-by shooting Saturday night. This happened near the intersection of Sherman and Burleigh. Sam Kramer joining us live tonight outside police headquarters in District 7, where officers jumped into action last night. Sam, tell us about that.
Yeah, hi there, Ted. Those two girls were actually hit in the back seat of a car, so police say the driver actually brought them here where officers provided first aid before paramedics arrived. Tonight, police still looking for who's responsible while the community again calls for an end to gun violence.
How many of y'all are tired like me of this call to an end of gun violence? Y'all don't do that about police brutality. And police brutality happens so minimally, you have to hunt and peck for it. The officers in your town may have 1,000 interactions with the community in one day. They may have New York, Chicago, they may have 4,000 interactions. All the officers combined, all 3 shifts. And every week y'all find one across the country to make a big deal about. And y'all don't even register or consider how many cops there are in this country. But y'all ready to burn stuff down and protest and march, and y'all got leaders that's on deck every time it happens. Well, where your pasty liberal buddies when this happened? Where your leaders at? Where your energy? Where your energy to burn and destroy, burn, loot, and murder? Where's all that? When this happens, 11-year-old girl and her sister. Where's your energy at? I'm tired of these calls for end the gun violence. I want to see some burning, some looting. I want to see some screaming, some yelling. I want to see some leaders, some athletes. I want to see all that stuff. Tired of these calls. Call, put the guns down. This gotta stop.
Yeah, hi there, Ted. Those two girls were actually hit in the back seat of a car, so police say the driver actually brought them here where officers provided first aid before paramedics arrived. Tonight, police still looking for who's responsible while the community again calls for an end to gun violence. Right outside the doors of District 7, Milwaukee police say this investigation began around 9 o'clock Saturday night when a car carrying 2 girls who had just been shot pulled up in need of help. The victims were 11 years old and 5 years old.
I have a 5-year-old with a GSW to the back.
Both girls were taken to the hospital, but on Sunday, the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed the 11-year-old, identified as Tanila Parker, died of her injuries. Parker's mother provided these photos of her and her 5-year-old sister, Bernila Taylor, who police say is in stable condition at the hospital.
And the dudes who did this are out shooting dice or at the club or over some chick's house. Just hanging, chilling. They ain't worried about nothing. They watching the NBA game with LeBron running up and down the court. KD. And nobody's going to be like, yo, the little black strap on the uniform for the Milwaukee Bucks. Didn't the Milwaukee Bucks walk out of a playoff game last year, the year before 2020, over Jacob Blake? No team had ever walked out of a game and not played a game in the history of the NBA for any reason. But the first time it was for Jacob Blake. And we can't even get a moment of silence before the Milwaukee game for these girls. We can't get the little black strap over the jersey. We can't get the initials on somebody's shoe. Somebody write the little girl initials on their shoe. Nothing. Nothing. NBA cares. Yeah, right.
The 11-year-old, identified as Tanila Parker, died of her injuries. Parker's mother provided these photos of her and her 5-year-old sister, Bernila Taylor, who police say is in stable condition at the hospital.
As a parent, I can't imagine what their parents are going, through right now. It's a scary situation.
Police say the shooting actually happened near the intersection of Sherman and Burleigh, where on Sunday afternoon, Los Brown Berets of Wisconsin stood on the sidewalk with a sign reading, "Stop killing our children."
So the Sun community needs this hombrito and his hombrito homeboys to come and advocate for their children. Let that sizzle your spirit. So Milwaukee is 44% Glacier Glider and 39% Sunmen. Dang, that's a lot of Sunmen. So where do the hombritos fall into this? I would say they're probably that 7 to 9, that 8%. So yeah, the gun memorial in Milwaukee gonna probably be 90% Sunny. Joy Reader had you thinking that these are the most protected women, and if anything happens to one of them, there's a call to arms, and every Sun man within 100-mile radius has to be on guard because he'll be swinging from a tree. Man, most of the Glacier Glider women I see on the gun memorial, and by most I mean like probably 50%, so half, are killed by Sunmen.
Milwaukee police have made arrests in the homicide case of a central Wisconsin woman. It happened Monday morning on the city's north side, and the aftermath was caught on surveillance video. CBS 58's Victor Jacobo is live near the scene and has new details on the case. Victor.
3 people have been arrested in connection to this case where a woman was shot and killed in her car.
That basketball court in the background is a bad sign.
3 people have been arrested in connection to this case where a woman was shot and killed in her car. This neighborhood is still in shock from what happened. This surveillance video shows some of the final moments of 23-year-old Kristen Zastro's life. A person is seen exiting the passenger side of the SUV and going to the driver's side. Later, police arrive and perform CPR. Zastro's death was ruled a homicide by the medical examiner's office. Milwaukee police say they arrested 2.
Okay, so this was the video I did. I did this video. Many of you may remember this. I did this video maybe 2 weeks ago. Wow, I didn't know it was a Glacier Glider woman that was killed.
CPR. Zastro's death was ruled a homicide by the medical examiner's office. Milwaukee police say they arrested 2 21-year-old men and 1 22-year-old man in connection to the case that happened Monday morning.
I'm happy they got the people off the street that they were doing it because, even if it's just a couple of them, it's a couple less shooters out there.
Neighbors who live in the area say the arrests help put their minds at ease, but the violence so close to home is concerning.
It's a nice neighborhood, and you would think that people would respect it more.
Others witnessed the police response on Monday morning in an area surrounded by homes, businesses, and a school.
Definitely very shocked that it happened so close. But one of the things that's for sure is I saw them trying to revive the young lady, and unfortunately she didn't make it.
Neighbors say the incident adds to concerns about violence and reckless driving in the area and city.
We're glad that there has been arrest, but it's just a small thing that has happened in a positive way, but we deal with these issues over here every day.
Police say charges will be referred to the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office in the coming days. Reporting live on Milwaukee's north side, Victor Jacobo, CBS 58 News.
So that story didn't tell us who did this. Who do you... Give me an idea on those three guys who were arrested for the death of Kristen M. Zastro. Man, on and on and on. Yikes. I told you if there's more than 10%, you're going to have a rough city, but 15% is going to be like the third world. This place is 38%, 39%. Callista L. Baker. I mean, yikes. Wow. We're still in 2021. Yikes.
As a parent, I can't imagine what their parents are going, through right now. It's a scary situation.
Police say the shooting actually happened near the intersection of Sherman and Burleigh, where on Sunday afternoon, Los Brown Berets of Wisconsin stood on the sidewalk with a sign reading, "Stop killing our children."
So far, it's been a good response. A lot of honking, a lot of people waving, agreeing with us. And hopefully that can bring some more awareness.
Hoping for an end to gun violence in Milwaukee as another family grieves the loss of a loved one.
Put the guns down, guys. Please, put the guns down. There's no need for that type of violence. There's no need to kill innocent kids.
And tonight, Milwaukee police say they continue to search for unknown suspects in this case. If you have any information that could help in the investigation, you're asked to contact police right away. We're live tonight outside Milwaukee Police District 7. Sam Kramer, Fox 6 News.
And Sam, because they don't have suspects, I imagine we don't know the answer to this question. Was that car targeted? Was it a random shooting? What do we know about that, if anything?
Yeah, it's still too early to say at that time. From the looks of it, just walking in that intersection, there are some surveillance cameras over there. You hope that that video could provide an answer, Ted.
Either way, it's heartbreaking. Sam, thank you.
All right, guys. So this story made it all the way to the Daily Mail. They care about this story in England more than they care about this story nationally in America. Milwaukee girl 11 was returning home from Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid. Wow. They were coming from Chuck E. Cheese. Those girls probably had the time of their life. I remember going to Chuck E. Cheese as a kid. Eating pizza, playing games, getting the little tickets. Trying to get enough tickets to win, to get a prize or something. Oh, man. Janice Little revealed that her granddaughter, Tanila Parker, 11, was returning home from Chuck E. Cheese birthday party on the night she was killed. Parker and her 5-year-old sister, Nyla, were shot in the back of a relative's car by an unidentified gunman on Saturday night. And nobody's going to demand that gunman, I'm not talking about turning yourself in, I'm talking about burning some stuff down for these little girls. Like y'all do for 45-year-old fentanyl addicts. And like y'all do for 35-year-old thugs. Unrepentant thugs, too. Like, them dudes be like gangsters and whatnot. Real street dudes, and y'all just be like Oh my God, burning stuff down and walking out of NBA games. Dudes be literally in the commission of like horrible crimes and what. Tanaya, they described her as smart and outgoing. Okay. So they didn't talk about her smile and how she made people laugh. Wow. That's amazing. She didn't get the typical liberal. She was always smiling and joking and making people laugh, and she was funny. They say she was smart and outgoing. The community was left outraged by the girl's death, as it was the third vehicle shooting that week. Mm, mm, mm. Wow.
Charles Carroll, good evening. That's right. I'm at Sherman and Burleigh. It was near this intersection those girls were shot, and it's also in this neighborhood where many of their family members live. And I had the chance to speak with their grandmother this afternoon, who tells me that the 5-year-old who survived, Brenila Taylor, well, she's come home. Her grandmother said she was shot in the back, but if she was able to walk on her own, she could come home. And like I said, now she has. Here's Brenila, dressed as a witch last year for Halloween. Her grandmother, Janice Little, who declined an on-camera interview, says she's not sure what Brenila wants to dress up as this year. Right now, Little is focused on planning the funeral of her other granddaughter, Tanila Parker, Brenila's big sister. Little says Tanila loved anime and Korean pop music. She loved dressing up as characters.
Wow, this girl was very special, because in the community, to like things that are different than what everyone else likes takes a lot of bravery. You get picked on and bullied. And so she liked anime and K-pop. So she was different, man. Wow. This is bad, man.
Little says Tanila loved anime and Korean pop music. She loved dressing up as characters. Brenila, says Little, has been through a lot. The loss of her sister after her father was found shot to death last year.
So this little girl, her dad was killed last year with a gun, and her big sister was killed a few days ago with a gun. And there are towns in this country where everyone lives below the poverty line and everyone has 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 guns. People spend all their money on guns and there's no murders. All through Appalachia, all through Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, pick a town. Go through those little towns. Go to the gun memorial, those little towns out there. And even some big ones. No murders. Everybody got guns. This has nothing to do with guns.
Brenila, says Little, has been through a lot. The loss of her sister after her father was found shot to death last year. Little says the girls were driving with their mother after a trip to Chuck E. Cheese before they were shot here.
A gunshot means you call 911. We can't normalize the gun shooting. If you hear a gunshot, please call 911.
15th District Alderman Russell Stamper II grew up near the intersection, Sherman and Burleigh, where the girls were shot.
There should be a camera over here, and it should be focused on this area, just like they focus on areas in downtown.
So he kind of, pulling the race card, but he is asking for supervision. This is what it's funny how many son politicians ask for you son people to be supervised. Y'all need cameras on y'all. Y'all need to be supervised.
areas in downtown.
Until, he says, there are firm solutions to solve the city's gun violence problem. Downtown, the mayor said he'd like more money for the police department.
What? What? $14 to 8 months, even 8 months ago, they were screaming defund the police.
Downtown, the mayor said he'd like more money for the police department.
But we have a state legislature that's filled with people who say they're against crime, but don't want to let the largest city in the state pay the bills for the police department.
Even so, he says, more cars on corners are unlikely to solve the problem.
This is very much a personal issue. It's who is the person who made the decision to fire that gun? Who's the person who gave that individual that gun?
Mayor Barrett says he doesn't have the answer to the violence right now. And seeing as he's likely on his way out of office this year to serve as a U.S. ambassador, the next mayor will have to take up this enormously difficult task. The mayor also tells me that he's been speaking with police, and they say they feel they have some solid information regarding the shooting of Brenila and her big sister just this past weekend. However, police are still asking the public to help out on this case. If you have any information about the shooting, you can find out how to get in touch with Milwaukee PD as well as Crime Stoppers by visiting tmj4.com and viewing our story at the top of that website as well as our news app. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Bruce Harrison, TMJ4 News.
So disheartening, Bruce. Thank you very much. Now, according to the Milwaukee Homicide Review Commission, at the end of August, 16 young people under the age of 18 were victims of homicide in Milwaukee. In all of 2020, 27 kids were victims, and that far outpaced previous 3 years of 10 or fewer youth homicides.